I think I'm live. Countdown.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears.
I got the alert. I'm late.
Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow.
I gotta get going. I gotta get started.
Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell.
Morning,
My heart
Wendy.
starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears.
Now I am gonna use Sidekick prior to going live on, so I have it.
Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow.
We're gonna go over my
Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every
with
morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell.
with-
My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in
with-
my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears.
SoFi is falling, even though the CEO bought a bunch. With I'm gonna go over GTC for all the people who aren't in office hours. Because office hours. We'll go over office hours right there. We'll go over with this.
Tune in
Just hit
daily,
this
don't
one.
miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll
Let's go
conquer.
back to scene. Larry. Yeah. Light is one of those, I mean, you know, hey, I've been pounding the table on light. Those of you with alpha picks know why I just bought a ton of it. I'm trying to bring up on Tuesday. I went over the Pro Quant portfolio. Yeah. And I brought up VSAT, and that one was way up. I haven't checked it this morning, but we're going to open up Light. Light is up. Yeah, another 7%. So yeah. The market's not looking great, but I mean it is what it is. The market's, you know, QQQ's at 601. So I think I've got a good morning, sunshine. Good morning, nighttime. How does this look, by the way? I need to look at the screen. I know I messed up OBS and there's some issues with it, and I'm actually going out of town. Okay, let me do this real quick. Yeah, this. I don't know if I can. Uranium. Let's see. Let's see if I can. Boy, now it's. Let's see if I can paste all of this into Sidekick. It's basically, let's see. coming online. Does that get to coming online? Yeah. Okay. So these statements, can you find me a uranium stock, the top 3 uranium stocks to buy now? Why are they buy now? And what option? The options market. Options market, chart data, and fundamental data sets telling you about opportunity. Let's see if this works. This is it's a long prompt. It is a long prompt based on this. So long story short, I saw this post. Everyone's focused on oil right now, blah, blah, blah. He's saying uranium is really the energy play. And I want to see if Sidekick can come up with some opportunities in the uranium play. So I basically just put it in there. We'll look at it after a little while. Yeah, light's good. I mean, look, don't tell me that, Sidekick's not good. It literally told you around 520. This one got down to, let's see, 548. And here it got to 573. Now, full disclosure, I'm in on this one at like 670, 6.7. It doesn't give me, a lot of comfort knowing that it's traded sideways since, let's see, beginning of March. But, the weekly, it's extended. I know that, but again, it's just a matter of risk reward, because when you look at, now let me see if the PPI stuff came out. I don't have a PPI story. Fed preview, upcoming micron earnings. No, I guess it's not. I mean, it took the markets down, so I would think they would have a story about it, but inflation's back in, so let's see. Was the PPI this morning? Let's see. This is part of the Pro package. It's the AI portion of headline 0.7. Yeah, we'll just use this. I agree. Copy link. Let's see. There you go. We'll just use that. That's interesting. Let's see if the Sidekick stuff came up yet. Uranium supply. Oh, it did. It did. Now I have everything I need. Top 3 uranium plays. CCJ, obviously. UUU. NXE. Summary table. A few counterpoints to your thesis. Can you tell me what the fair value or good range of price to buy each of these three based on the fundamental data and the price action. Give me a 1 month, a buy now, 1 month, 6 month, and 1 year price target for each in a table. Morning, dictator. So yeah, let's take a look at that. I'm using the tools that I got today, by the way. Holy crap. I mean, just today's entire show, people are going to be pissed. Hit the thumbs up button, by the way. People are going to be pissed because I'm going to go over the tools and then I'm going to offer the tools for sale. But good God, I mean, I don't know how I'd be prepared to be in the market today without these things. So, okay, the screen looks good. That's what I was looking at. Okay, hit the thumbs up button. I need to remind everybody and myself to do that all the time. Let's see. Okay. I've got everything I need to start the podcast. And other than, let's see, if Sidekick finished this. Oh, it's still thinking. I was going to be like, okay, here's the chart. Summary table. Oh, it did buy zones. Summary table, you got 48 billion, 4.7 billion, NXE. Key catalyst, India, 2.6 options skewed bullish, cautious. Free cash flow, positive, negative. Revenue generating, NXE is not. So NXE is probably the best. Let's see what drives each target. CCJ, 165. This one is trading at 112. That's a pretty good price target. NXE, $20. This one's trading at 11. This one's trading at 19 and 30 is the price target. These are not dollar cost fixed derivative intrinsic values. None of these stocks lend themselves to that in a commodity but bull market scenario. These targets are anchored on analyst consensus. Perfect. Okay, I've got exactly what I need to do. Okay, I'm going to start recording now. Good morning. It is Wednesday, March 18th. It's the 18th. Just so you're aware, I am off Thursday and Friday. I am going golfing. I'm going to the NASCAR race in Darlington. I probably will not actually go to the race, but I'm playing golf with a bunch of friends for 4 days prior to it. So this podcast is Wednesday. It will push out and it will hold up because a lot of what I'm going to go over is long-term. Just be aware, Friday. Okay, this is an alert. You know, if I had a red alert on the screen, red alert, if you are holding any kind of stocks that you want to trim, any stocks that you want to sell, understand Friday is what's called a triple witching day. So understand that. Go into this podcast knowing, hey, Friday, there may be reasons to actually trim. There may be stuff to actually look at. But what do we have on QQQ? And I've been going over this week after week after week. This trend line, the green line that you see on your screen, okay, the red line is the 200-day. That green line is a trend line. It is an absolute straight line. If you put a level up to this, it would be level. Straight. You can't do trend lines in Trendspider that are not straight. They literally guide you to just a straight line. It's anchored at the 2020 lows. We have been abiding by this for 6 years. You had an opportunity in 2022 to buy it below that line when the Fed was historically hiking rates. You had an opportunity to buy below this line in October 2023 when we hit a low. Again, it was more of a sideways trade, but it felt like a low. You had the opportunity to buy below this line in April of 2025. That was Liberation Day. You may have another chance to buy below this line. Again, if we trade sideways, it'll get below this line. If we go down, it'll get below this line. You use the 50-day as your guide. Again, this is very simple stuff. This is long-term investing. It's understanding where the stocks you're at. Go and look at the charts that you have. Because what happened today? I use Seeking Alpha, by the way. I couldn't find a news story on this. So I use Seeking Alpha Pro to say, hey, what was the PPI this morning? PPI stands for Producers Price Index. This is one of the ingredients into inflation. And when inflation hits, the Fed, you may hear the term, don't fight the Fed. Well, when the producer price index goes up, what typically happens is producers have to raise their prices, which again leads to inflation. Well, the cost of goods went up. Month over month, they were expected to go up 0.3%. They went up 0.7%. That's a big move. And 3.4% year over year versus 2.9%. That's a big move. Again, it was a big move. And if you go and look at QQQ, and we know that this came out at 8:30 this morning, boy, what happened at 8 o'clock? We started to see some weakness. And then at 8:30, we continue to see weakness. Why? Because these numbers are not good. When you hear don't fight the Fed in a like a bull market, the Fed will reduce rates. Why? Because they want to stimulate growth. Right now, they're going to have to slow down growth, and that hurts the markets. And we also don't know about Jerome Powell. Understand, I'm going to go over this in a little bit. We have a Fed decision today. They're going to keep rates the same. I mean, honestly, they're going to keep rates the same. They probably had an inkling of this number yesterday. I think they had, they could have had it to look at during the meeting. I don't know the legality of that, but the reality is it was bad. So maybe they'll raise today and not actually lower. So there's that. And again, using the tools that I have in front of me, I have Seeking Alpha's AI where I can just ask, hey, what was the PPI this morning rather than going searching for a news article. You can go and use Google. You can go and use any of the AI tools. I just decided to use Seeking Alphas. One of the other tools that I use constantly is Alpha Picks. And if you didn't know, if you go over to Linktree, where all the links are, you got Trendspider, you got Premium and Alpha Picks, you use this Alpha Picks, you can get to it. But if you go to the newsletter, on Monday, we had a new Alpha Pick. Here's the selection. And I was live on Substack for the selection. Yeah, I go live on Substack for those selections. Stop it. But you can get there just from Linktree, and you can go look at it. I want to tell you the selection, okay? A stock that I should have bought a long time ago. It was added to the Alpha Picks portfolio. Now, the Alpha Picks portfolio, it is legendary. It is just 293% versus 80% on the S&P. Again, if you go to Linktree, you can get all of these details by just clicking on that third link. I do always suggest that you get Premium and Alpha Picks. Why? Because you save more. You save over $150. This particular portion of that bundle is the Alpha Picks portfolio. And why should I have been buying this one a long time ago? Well, the CEO of this company that was included to this portfolio, okay? I first saw him on CNBC. Now, I thought this particular stock was only part of the Google ecosystem. And when you're hearing about the Google ecosystem with TPUs and things like that, it's the leading AI platform right now, Gemini. And I thought that was what they were used for. But when I saw the CEO on CNBC, he said, no, we're in AI. We've got to deal with NVIDIA. We've got to deal with AMD. The great thing about this stock is that it's returned over 80% in the Pro Quant portfolio. So again, these are two different portfolios. This one's an equal weighted portfolio. The Pro portion of Seeking Alpha probably meant for about 10% of the people. But this particular Alpha Picks one, again, it should return a lot of money because these are stocks that constantly are great picks. The commentary that comes along with the stock, I love to hear it. I went in big on this one. I think this one could be another one that takes over my portfolio, just like Micron. Okay, just like Micron. And if you have Alpha Picks, you know about Credo. What happened to Credo yesterday? It was down 10%. Okay, I want to take you back to Trendspider. Okay, use the tools that you have. With Credo, I actually went in. And now the 4-hour algorithm got you out yesterday. I'm not using that. I am using Trendspider's Sidekick. And you may see me go back and forth here. But again, what did Sidekick tell us? Sidekick told us essentially on this stock, as it gets towards 120, which yesterday it actually opened up at 122 in pre-market. It was way up. But again, when you get towards 120, start trimming it. So if you listen to this podcast again or have access to Sidekick, you use the prompt that I had, you knew at 120 you wanted to trim it if you were overweight in your Alpha Picks portfolio. Sidekick has been kick-ass for Credo. It's been kick-ass for NVIDIA, where it told us to sell in the 190s and buy it back in the 170s after earnings. Sidekick has been phenomenal. And FYI, if you sign up for Trendspider, you get a bonus. You get a bonus of Sidekick. So go and check out Trendspider. It is right there. If you need the annual plan, you get my 4-hour algorithm. Again, the 4-hour algorithm is fantastic here on NVIDIA. It's fantastic on Credo. I like it. And speaking of Monday, we can look at that one right there. By the way, if you didn't know, I will just put this one up here for you. These 3 names, Light, Cohere, Credo, NVIDIA, Ubiquity, all of them, great things coming out of GCT from NVIDIA. But speaking of Monday, I want to go over a little thing because I brought up, hey, the Pro Quant portfolio. And again, this is meant for about maybe 10% of the people that listen. But I was going over it here in the Pro Quant portfolio, and I brought up VSAT, a good example, okay? Because when you have the Pro Quant portfolio, over on this left-hand side, you'll see this upgrades and downgrades section. Well, VSAT, I said, hey, a great example. I got alerted on Monday that VSAT went up from a hold to a strong buy. And I went over the history of VSAT, okay? The first time, it went from a hold to a strong buy. It was trading at $25. It went to hold for 2 days. About a couple months later, $35. That's a 40% gain. The next time, it went from strong buy and it moved back to hold. A nice 16% gain just from this stock changing. So let's go and check out VSAT yesterday. How did it do? It was up 5%. I mean, we can see the 1-day territory right there. It spiked all the way up to $50. $50. And when I posted this, what was it trading at? 47. It's just a couple of days. Again, good move. You could trade it on options if you'd like. But Sidekick has kicked ass for everything. And while you get on this podcast, you can hear that even if you just use the newsletter, that was a great trade. And is it over and done with? I don't know. Again, it's still a strong buy. You can see it went in there at 46. It got up to 50. It's still a strong buy. And you can go over the history of this one if you have Trendspider. It is just an example of how to use the tools that you have in front of you. Again, my newsletter is a tool. And office hours yesterday, This is something that I do for the paid newsletter folks, okay? We had a great one. I went over a new stock, a new one that a subscriber mentioned. I went over how Meta could be a $900 stock. Let's go look at Meta, because Meta could be a $900 stock. It's trading at $617. Add to that, I went over every stock that's in my personal portfolio. This entire list has every elevator pitch for my entire portfolio. So if you think that that's something of value for you, maybe you want to think about signing up, including the March watch list I published, okay, for paid newsletter subscribers. I did this in one of the Tuesday office hours where I published the March watch list. It's up 8% midway through the month of March. Again, paid newsletter subscribers have it. 7 of the stocks that I picked are up more than 16% month to date, with 2 stocks up almost 30%. Remember, the S&P this month is down almost 3%. That's a great list. And I've got it in my right here. If I just go over here, I've got March watch list. It was up 3% yesterday here on the left-hand side. So I've got it, and paid newsletter subscribers have it as well. Let's talk about the Fed today, because the Fed is going to make a decision. And we can look at QQQ again, and you can look at SPY, and you can look at all of this stuff. But where are we? I think it's priced into the market. The Fed decision today, they're not going to change anything. It's going to be kept the same. The longer Powell invested, the Powell investigation, and you'll hear about this, the Powell investigation is holding up Warsh's confirmation. So as Powell stays in, Trump doesn't get his rate cut. And even if Warsh is in there and you see the PPI and the inflation going up, I don't know that he can convince the other 4 members that he needs to actually lower rates. So we're stuck in a little range here, and we've been in that way. Again, when are you going to buy? Because I do think we end the year higher than where we are today. I think that Iranian war, I think it's just a smokescreen. I think he's going to back out of it. Again, I think he's going to focus on the midterms, and to be able to win the midterms, he needs a good economy. He doesn't need $4 a gallon gas. He doesn't need a war going on in the Middle East that we're involved in that nobody else wants to get involved in. So that's your political statement. Now let's go over GTC, because GTC was huge. This was Monday with NVIDIA. I went over my thoughts in office hours yesterday, so if you want my thoughts on that one, you can do it. But they literally announced that their backlog is twice what the market was expecting. It went from $500 billion to $1 trillion. And NVIDIA was not a winner in that scenario. In fact, NVIDIA is on its way down. Why? Because they're just not growing. And what did win? Well, you had a bunch of people, a bunch of companies. IBM, they went up. STM, which is ST Microelectronics, Texas Instruments, Adobe, and the big one. The big mover was Uber. NVIDIA expands its autonomous driving system with Uber. I believe that Uber is a $100 stock. It's trading at 77. Do I want to load into this? No. My conviction is semi. Why? Because the market hasn't given this the benefit of the doubt. And in the factor grades, I always say this, momentum is incredibly important. And when you look at the momentum over 3 months, this one's down 1%. 6 months, you're down 16%. Why? Because it was trading at $100. But Uber, FYI, it is an alpha pick stock. It's an alpha pick. It was chosen on 6/1/2023. This is a long-term winner that has turned a little sideways. Since 2024, when it got up to 80, you're at that realm. This is what's called capitulation, because again, the MACD below the oscillator, the RSI down there. If you looked at the fundamentals of Google and you said, hey, this is a stock that's trading 23 times forward earnings, and it's got growth of 18%. Let's look at something like Walmart. Okay, it's apples to oranges, but this is trading 42 times forward earnings with a growth of 4%. Uber is a great opportunity for me. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit to this. I like it. It's dipped up and down since it was picked. Again, October, let's see, it was picked June of 2023. Boy, don't you wish you had bought this at 38? You're still doubling your money. And that's 3 years. Remember, the S&P doubles your money in 5 to 7 years. And all the indicators are pointing, this is a great one. Now, the rules in AlphaPix, why is it still in AlphaPix when you've seen this drop? Okay? Because there are rules in AlphaPix. It hasn't dipped to a sell in the quant rating, okay? This quant rating hasn't dipped to a sell or a strong sell. It hasn't been a hold for 180 days consecutively. This just went to a hold in January. It needs 180 consecutive days to be pulled out. And it was a strong buy in January at 85. It will be a strong buy again. I believe the profitability is fantastic, 38%, and they just partnered with NVIDIA. Now, all of the airlines yesterday, Delta, American Airlines, United, these were up big yesterday, even with the facing of huge oil increases. It's a strong buy from Wall Street, but the price target is 80. Is it going to hit 80? Maybe, because it did hit 76. Again, buying the dip when others are afraid. Delta came out and said, hey, the travel stocks, they all were lifted. We've got 8 out of 10 highest sales days in our history this quarter, 5 in just March. That was Delta's CEO, Ed Bastian. That's a huge opportunity. Again, buying when others are afraid with good companies, Delta's a buy. It's a buy in the quant. It's been a buy. Again, Wall Street has it an $80 stock, and you're going to be able to get it at 64. Another one that maybe some people are afraid of, SoFi. Okay? What's crazy is that SoFi had a short report come out yesterday. Okay? SoFi falls amid what? Muddy Waters. Muddy Waters is a famous short seller. They've been wrong more than they've been right. Again, SoFi dropped 2%. It was down 1.47. And then what happened? The insider, their CEO, it was, oh my God, he bought a ton of stock. It was $500,000 of stock. He bought 28,900 shares at a price of $17.30. So if you want to follow the CEO, and again, $500,000 isn't something to sneeze at, but when you look at his net worth, that's like you buying a Chipotle burger. And then SoFi responds this morning. They called it inaccurate and explores legal action. That's kind of the typical statement, but you should have done it yesterday. You should have said, this is crazy. But again, the CEO, he bought 28,000 shares. If you want to follow him into that, I'm not a big SoFi fan. I've said it before. It's an expensive stock. You need to know what you own. If you're owning this one, I know my guy Charlie over at MLS, he has owned this one forever since it IPO'd. If you look at this one, since it IPO'd, you have had the opportunity to trade this one. And now you're getting the opportunity to trade it if you like this. I will tell you my personal opinion on this one. Wall Street loves it. They've got a 50% upside. There's 22 analysts that have covered this in the last 90 days. 10 of them say hold. The quant is a hold. It hasn't loved this stock ever. Okay, it has been a hold for at least 3 years. Well, let's go and look at it. The valuation, you're trading 28 times forward earnings. The growth is fantastic at 35%. Again, the growth is great, but the profitability sucks. And if you don't know why the profitability is an F, you can go and look at the AI right here. Profitability, indicate challenges as return on common equity is 6% lower than the sector at 11%. See it? Return on common equity right there. Now, if you want to know what's the financial consumer space number one, it's EZPW. That's the number one. You look at year to date, this one's up 34%. That's how easy it is to find stocks here on Seeking Alpha. I'm not using anything other than premium. Again, the bundle, premium and alpha picks. But you can go and just search your stocks. Now let's talk about today's earnings. This one's big. I'm in big six figures on this stock, okay? I have added to this one. I have been very clear that I thought under $400 was a great buy. In fact, all those yellow lines that you see on my screen right now, those were all put there by Sidekick. And it does, I had it due Monday. Let me see. We're going to look up MU. Pre-analysis MU, okay? You can do this in Sidekick. Have it guide you. Key risks, the guidance. Q2 estimate 856 is massive. If guidance for Q3 disappoints, expect the stock to sell off hard. Triple test of 428 to 430. Again, this was done on Monday. We're trading at today at 461. So again, the buy under 400 was fantastic. What price should you pay? At 426, right into earnings, you're buying at resistance with the following math. Upside consensus, 490. That's plus 15%. Downside on a sell the news is 370. Asymmetrical is mediocre at this level. The more favorable entry zones, 395 to 410. And you might say, well, I couldn't get it at 395. You know what? Let's see, what date is this? I want to look at what date this is because just March 9th, it is now March 18th, March 9th, you could have gotten this for $357. Did you know it was a great buy? No. The 4-hour algorithm got you in at 410. Yes, I added at 410. Yes, I added at 380. Did I add at 375? No, I wanted it to start to move back up, but under $400 was my goal. Why? Because Sidekick led me there. Again, use Linktree. Go and look at Trendspider. They're having a St. Patrick's Day sale. Subscribe now. You save up to 38%. And I point people towards the advanced tier. Why? Because it gives you 52 trainings per year. And so that's once a week. Divide 132 by 4 because there's 4 weeks in every month. And that's what you're paying for a one-on-one expert-led product expert-led Zoom session where you can ask questions. Say you don't even know how to do all this stuff in Sidekick. Literally, you can show up to a one-on-one Zoom class and the person leading it will guide you. And why do I love Micron? Well, I'll tell you why. Because Micron, the quant system rates stocks from a 1 to a 5. Micron has been 4.99 for a very long time. Let's just go back and look at this because it moved to a strong buy here in July at 122. That's not even a year. And you 4 times your money. That is enormous. Just by, again, using the quant system. I love it. Now let's look at Micron's 62% year-to-date surge faces earnings test. Again, people have been buying into this. And you want to be aware, it is up 62%. Read this story because you're going to want to know if you are invested in this one big way like I am, that Wall Street's price target is 6% below where you closed yesterday and you're up almost 1% in pre-market. Again, the price target is down low. And it faces earnings today after the bell. And the options are still leaning bullish. They're telling you there's an 8% move priced into the stock. And they don't know, options doesn't know if it's up or down. But when you look at this chart, and if we were to just go to the daily chart, and I used this chart yesterday, because yesterday I told the paid subscribers, hey, I'm a little concerned. because at that 455 level, we either have to break through it or you've got a double top where you need to pull back. And if you pull back, I'm assuming 370, like Sidekick said, is absolutely 100% possible. So if you're buying at 461 today, understand your downside. And that's what Trendspider and Sidekick give you. Seeking Alpha gives you great commentary. It gives you great opportunities to find new stocks. But the charts for me tell the story because the only thing that I care is price. Okay, I love getting into stocks that are 4.99 out of 5. We can go over other ones. Okay, SDNK, SanDisk, 4.99 out of 5. And if you ever want to look at this, all you need to do is go to your homepage, scroll down, and look at the top quants by market cap. Micron, SanDisk, Dell, Light, TTMI, Viker, ICHR, UCTT, they're all there. Even VSAT, which is 4.93, I'm sorry. Again, using the tools that you have in front of you. Premium and Alpha Picks. It gives you a great portfolio that already you can have. And if you want to add to that portfolio, again, it's beating the market historically. And right now, with the dip that we're seeing, it is underperforming the market, which has shown in the past it's a great time to buy. And if you just want to buy the top 2026 stocks, which are up year to date, again, you can look at that through premium. Now, I want to bring up a stock that I think is interesting heading into earnings tomorrow. Baba. This is interesting because they raised their AI computing prices up to 34%. And the market's rewarding them at a 1% gain. Now, Wall Street, let's go and look at Baba because Wall Street is saying, hey, it's a strong buy. Let's go and look. 42 analysts have covered this in the last 90 days. 30 of those have it as a strong buy. Its average price target, we just went over Micron, how that one has a 6% lower average price target. This one has a 46% upside for their price target. Okay, the quant is a hold. It has been a hold all the way since, let's see, July of last year when it was trading at 108. You're trading at 140 right now, 138 and change. And when you look at these valuation scores, okay, we look at 6 months ago. The valuation, I'm going to go back here to the summary. We can go 6 months. You're down 17%. The valuation, it's worse. It's worse than it was 6 months ago. You're trading 21 times forward earnings. The growth, it's worse than it was 6 months ago. Okay? It's you're growing your revenue year over year 5%. Its profitability, it's the same. 41% gross margin. Its momentum, far worse. 9 months, you're up 18%, but the rest of these are negative. And the revisions from analysts, they're bringing their earnings per share down and their revenue down. Is this one a good buy? Well, I would say from a fundamental standpoint, it probably doesn't look good. But when I look at what these lines that I have drawn in personally, okay, these are not from Sidekick. These are not from anything. I see that 212 seems to be a pretty good range to get into. You've got the 200-day on a weekly moving positive. You got the 50-day moving positive. Now the 9 and 21 are going negative. So that 140 is providing you resistance. If this turns into some type of resistance, I'd expect us to pull back to 120 on those earnings. But if it goes higher, there's a lot of opportunity to this upside. And again, you look at Wall Street's price target. When you go to summary, when we look at this, they're saying it's a strong buy, even though they're bringing their estimates down. So with them raising their prices, I think it's one of two things. If we go back to this story, Alibaba raises their AI computing prices. It's one of two things. Either demand is soaring and they are going to kill on earnings. And this is how you read the stock market. And it's the bet that you place. Either they're going to kill it on earnings and they're raising prices based on demand, which is what they are saying. or they are desperately announcing good news to soften an earnings disappointment. And when you look at the quant ratings and you go and look at BABA and the revisions, there's one analyst that brings the earnings per share up. 20 have brought them down over the last 90 days. And revenue, they're all bringing them down. Only 3 have brought it up. So that's the bet that you have to make. So for me, I'd probably look at this. And again, this is how I look at stocks. I would look at this and say, hey, the 4-hour algorithm, it wins 35% of the time. So it's not 50-50. It's less than 50. Its average win is 14%. Over the last 2 years, you've made 95% versus buying and holding, you've made 88%. Again, 88% gain over 2 years, I'd take that all day long. And knowing that the buy-in was 135 and you're trading at 136, I would say maybe that's an opportunity to take a chance. Now, am I going to buy this? No. Why? Because I'm going on vacation. I don't want to take this bet. But I bring it up to show you how I'm using the tools together to find those opportunities. Now, I want to bring up overall the markets, okay? History says a bigger drop. This is Brian Sullivan from CNBC. History says a bigger drop coming at some point this year. I would, as well as Brian, be nervous if we didn't see one. I would be nervous. Over the last 75 years, the average intra-year market drop has been 14%. If you are overly stressed right now, we are only down 5%. The stock market isn't for you. VOO and chill. Downside volatility is the price investors pay for long-term outperformance. That's a great quote. And so I do believe, by the way, that this trend line gets broken at some point. And so is it going to be here and you dip down under $600 again for QQQ? Or is it going to get broken here at 620 where you could have made some money trading this? Again, the way I work and the way I manage my portfolio, I am buying these things for long term. And this point, downside volatility is the price investors pay for long-term outperformance. Now, the guidance here is awesome. Awesome. I've been saying we are abiding by the long-term trend line and things are about to move. You can look at it. Bollinger Bands cinched up. MACD has been on a weekly. We've reset the MACD. The RSI is at 51. Things are about to move. Watching high priority signals this week. Markets may be near a critical decision point. Have a plan. Be flexible. There are many clues out there that show sentiment is about as one-sided as ever. This one, the volume in short ETFs is the highest it's been since, let's see, this is, it's highest it's been ever. These are short ETFs. The market is overweighted that the market is going to go down. What does that mean? Do you follow the crowd or do you be contrarian? There's plenty of news out there about the downside. And yes, the S&P and the QQQs are very expensive. But I do believe that the economy is good. And if you want to find arbitrage in the market, okay, here's a great one. Perfect Corp. So I saw this one at about 7:20 this morning. It was published at 7:17. And we can go look at this. PERF, shares rose 13%. It's up 27% right now after the AI company announced a proposal transaction to be taken private for $1.95. Let's just go and look at this. PERF. We're going to look at a short-term chart, a 1-minute chart. I will put up a 1-minute chart of this one because that news came out at 7:17 this morning. Okay? So at 7:17, we can go back here at 7:17 to 7:30. Here's the spike on this one. If you were watching the news, you could have bought this one, let's say at 7:20, say. It was $1.50. And again, what price are they being taken private at? $1.95. It will get up to 195. Understand, you will get a cash offer of 195. Easy, 30% gain. I was watching it. It was trading at $1.50. Did I buy it? I didn't want to roll over in bed and I didn't want to do the work. But it's super, super simple. Again, this is arbitrage. This would have paid for your entire, if you were sitting in bed and reading this, entire Seeking Alpha subscription with Alpha Pay, Alpha Picks for the entire year. Finding arbitrage is easy in a market where you have volatility and you just need to look. So now, using the tools that I have, I saw this one yesterday. Everybody's focused on oil. It's George Noble on Substack. Brent above $100 in the Straits of Hormuz, tankers stranded. There's an energy crisis hiding in plain sight. Uranium. He goes on to tell you there are a lot of nuclear power plants that are actually being built, and we don't have enough uranium. He doesn't give you specific stocks. He just goes over this narrative. And the narrative is actually quite convincing. Kazakhstan produces 45% of the world's uranium. Starting in 2028, Kazakhstan plans to dedicate 100% of its supply to China and Russia. Already 80% goes to these two countries, but the remaining 20% disappearing from the open market will tighten an already desperate situation. So what do you do with something like this? I went to Sidekick and I basically put in his entire thesis, okay? I put it into the prompt right here. You can see it. I just copy and pasted. And I said, based on these statements, can you find me the top 3 uranium stocks to buy now? And why are they buy now? And what is the options market chart data and fundamental data set telling you about the opportunity in these stocks? And it found me the top 3. Okay. Again, Cameco. I love this one. I've loved this one for a long while. Number 2, UUU, Energy Fuels Inc. Number 3, NXE. Now it goes over all of these and it puts it in a nice summary table. The market cap of each, the 52-week performance. Again, Cameco's up 166%. UUU is up 415%. NXE up 163%. Pullback from peak, 10%, 24%, 7%. Analyst price target, it gives it to you right there. Upside to target, 53 and 55%. Key catalysts, it gives them to you. Option skew, bullish, bullish, cautious. Free cash flow, positive, negative, negative. Revenue generating, yes. Partial, and no. So it gives you the entire analysis, and it ranked them in order. Number 1, Cameco. And I talked to some uranium experts a year or so ago, and they said if you're just going to buy anything nuclear, just buy Cameco. That's the one you want to buy because they're the miner in the US that gets all the uranium out. Now, this didn't give me anything. So I said, can you tell me the fair value or good range of price to buy each of these based on the fundamental data and the price action? Give me a buy now, a 1-month, 6-month, and 1-year target for each. It put them right in there. Current price, CCJ, 111. 1 month, it thinks it's going to be 120. 6 months, 140. 1 year, 165. Is it in the buy zone? Yes. NXE in the buy zone. UUU? No. It's in the upper end. It's at 1932. It does expect it to go to $22. But it drives exactly what it is. So it literally went and told me, and I can add these to a uranium watch list. Understand, that's how I work. It's very simple. I'll include all of this, by the way, in the newsletter. So if you're not subscribed to the newsletter, I don't know why not. It's all for free. Again, I'm giving this information. Now let's talk about how I use this. Because this is an email that I get from Trendspider every morning. It's daily stock pick scans on the 4-hour. And it literally puts it in my email every morning. And I can go and look at this. Let's look at the scanner. Daily stock pick scanner right there. And we can see Amazon has an entry. FBCG has an entry. Hood has an entry. Qualcomm has an entry. It should be there. QQQ has an entry. Roblox It's going to have an entry. Simon Property Group has an entry. And you can look at these charts and just go down and say, oh my God, there's an entry opportunity in here. XLY, which is consumer discretionary, has been going down since January. And that's not a huge, in the scheme of things, that's an 8% move down. Is that too much for me to handle? No. Because look, everything's still in the 50 and the 100. I still hold this one. Why? Because half of XLY is Tesla and Amazon. We're going to go look at the holdings. Amazon and Tesla, 21% and 19%. So it's 40% of the actual portfolio. Those are two stocks that I want to invest in individually, but I like it holding it in an ETF. So I hold quite a bit. And again, I get this email every morning. Work smarter, not harder. And there was a question from Eli yesterday in the chat of the here. If you go to the newsletter and you go to chat, there's a chat window. He said, "Hey, in the Pro where you get this upgrades and downgrades right here, is it a list?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "But you can sign up for Pro for something like that." And I showed you how to use with Viasat. I showed you how to use it to actually make money. My sweet spot is still premium and alpha picks. Why? And it's because of this. If you put a stock into a portfolio here, you can follow the stock. And so every morning I get a shit ton of emails from Seeking Alpha that a stock has moved in the quant. IPI moved from a strong buy to a hold. Sienna, which I follow, moved from a strong buy to a hold. Wilden Group moved from a hold to a buy. IBIT moved from a strong sell to a sell. And I get those alerts. I don't need this upgrades and downgrades. This is a great way to find new stocks to trade. But if I just use my portfolios and put these alerts in, I get these every morning. Again, it's a great opportunity. So let's see. I think I can put in alerts. AI search alerts. I think I can put, I don't know where to go. Usually I just click on the damn thing. Home, analysis news. I think it's my analyst. I don't know where it is. You've got alerts in here somewhere. Maybe I can go here. Nope. That's all just comments, but it's in there. Again, I get an email. This is the email. This is the alerts when I click on the email to go see it, and it just pulls it up. Account. There it is. Account. Let's see. Account settings, and then alert preferences. There we go. Ratings and price alerts. Analyst alerts. I guess it doesn't show me history. There we go. You can go into the history. So I have all of these alerts set for all the stocks that I follow. And sorry, I just don't go to it. I use the email and I just click on it. So I don't usually go to this section. But if you wanted to save money and just get the sweet spot, again, there's a sweet spot. Work smarter, not harder. It's so easy. And the bundle here saves you $159, and Trendspider is saving you 38% off of their plans. So go and investigate these tools. I just gave you a bunch. Have a great Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I am off on vacation. If you have any questions, even on Linktree, linktr.ee/dailystockpick. The address is literally right below my head. I have my email address. You can email me whenever you want. I will talk to you Monday. Okay, see you, bye. The end portion was all confusing, but I thought the podcast was good. Especially that PERF, that stock. That one, man, I should have taken that one trade this morning. I was trying to, I had to take care of the dogs. Gary was getting upset. Let's see. Let's do that. And it's a nice flat setting. So we'll colorize it. Bring that down. Bring that up. And then we're going to Do. Yeah, anybody claiming. It is funny because if we go over here and then I go to I thought this was awesome. I thought that was awesome. Nader from Trendspider, he created this one. It's basically it's a YouTube video. I lied because I was telling him. I said somebody Tory Trades. If we go over to Twitter, let's see. Tory Trades. There we go. No. Tory. She's got a bunch of fakes. There we go. This is her real one. She was crying about fakes. I guess she took it down. Yeah. So this is a girl, great, very, according to what you see on social media. Here it is. Here we go again. It's pretty common, the theme to attack me and discredit me. So in her video, she's got paper trading. And it's, you know, she basically goes on this rant about how she's, you know, not paper trading. She's actually trading and doing stuff. I told Nader, I said, the fact that she hires a crew to go and follow her and create clips and do all of this stuff. And then she, you know, hires a crew to actually film her getting delivery of her Lamborghini and her new house and, you know, where she's living and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't have a problem with her. Her strategy is correct and her strategy is great. She sells a course, which is fine. I mean, the next masterclass, Trendline Playbook, access now. She's looking for your email address. Oh no, I don't want that. I'm not going to sign up for it. Great website, by the way. Fantastic website. And I looked at the who did it for her. But again, it is simple. It's easy. But when you flaunt your lifestyle like that, I just kind of Yeah, Larry, I haven't played in a while, so my my swing, I hurt my thumb. Honestly, I'm 55 years old and I have a Xbox injury. I hurt my thumb playing Xbox. I got carpal tunnel in my thumb. So I almost wasn't going to make this trip. But I haven't played since last July. I haven't even swung a club. So it's going to be kind of a... let me just export this file. Let's see, where's QQQ? We're down at 602. But I'm hoping the guys that I'm playing with, one of the guys is like, he shoots 75, 76. He's a very good golfer. I used to shoot those scores and I used to be a very good golfer. These days, I'm not a very good golfer. I'll shoot probably between, I would say 95 and 110 is what I'll shoot. And I'm not one of those guys who doesn't take penalty strokes or puts down a mulligan. I have fun out there. I've gone from being a douchebag golfer who needs to shoot the best score to actually being a just having fun. So what triple witching, Fed jitters, and massive earnings bet. let's see if I take this and what am I going to do? Let us create a photo of I gotta really get rid of a lot of this stuff. Photo to me. Throwing money in the air. White background. Okay, let's see. I'd like to see this one. And we'll go to Canva. Let's open up Canva and look for a YouTube thumbnail. I still haven't gotten great at using Canva. There we go. Okay, we'll download this and we'll go over here and then let's just do YouTube thumbnail stocks. There we go. We'll use this one. And we'll take that out. We'll upload. Upload file. Generated image. And we'll put that in there. And then we'll erase background. And I do need to upscale. I know there's a upscaler. Image upscaler. There we go. Upscale. Yeah. I don't think it just needed rest, Charles. Yeah, I'm 55 and I'm sure it's going to be a mess. My hands as a drummer, before, after, replace, let's say. As a drummer, I had to quit because of carpal tunnel in my wrists. So I'm fairly certain that I'm going to be effed as I get older anyway. Okay, there we go. Image upscaler looked good. Worked well. Let's see. Triple witching day. Fed jitters. My massive earnings play. We're gonna take. I actually want to just move that over there and group. Move that. Uploads. We're going to go down to Micron. Micron. Let's see. I don't want to lie. What am I up on Micron? I know I've traded it as well. Options market. Uh, do 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 do. Yeah, I don't think I need surgery, Charles. It's carpal tunnel. I've had carpal tunnel. I've gotten over it. It comes back. Boy, that put a coin right. I want to edit this. Edit. Let's see. Magic eraser. I want that damn coin erased. Erase. Let's see. Does it do it well? Do 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 do. No. Brush size. Erase. Let's see. There we go. That's good enough. At least you don't see the coin. Yeah, I want to see. Let's see. I don't want to lie about my gains. So I want to see what I'm, I just texted my buddy. How the hell am I down with that much Micron in my portfolio? Apple's down. Amazon's down. My Alpha Picks portfolio is up 1%. Good news. Let's see. AppLovin's up 2%. I gotta get rid of that one. I overbought that one. Wow. I'm up 12% on that damn buy, and you could have bought like 10% down yesterday on that one. Micron, 60%. So I can say on group. Move this over here. We'll shrink this. Group. We're going to put in Trendspider. I'm sorry your mom has that. There's nothing worse than carpal tunnel, and that's horrible. And Seeking Alpha. Put that down there. There we go. Okay. Share, download. This one's done. Spotfiy for creators. We'll go in here. QQQ. I mean, QQQ is holding up. Ironically, at $600. I got to redo that core portfolio. That's been on my list to do for a while now. Copy. We're going to put this in. I got to get rid of those spaces. There we go. And we're going to go to Spotfiy for creators. Is light up that much? 738. I mean, when Wendy brought up light, you had your chance to buy it under 700. I don't know what's the catalyst for this. Quarterly revenue run rate of $2 billion. Wow. Did Coherent go up as well? Yeah, I mean, Coherent's up. Look at all those. AOI is up 14%. Highlight, it's again. Let's get this. And we'll paste this. We'll get this. And where's my, there it is. We're going to move this out. Oh, come on. Okay, we've got that. We've got that. Let's upload to YouTube. Upload video. Okay, it is 10 o'clock. I am going to be out of here. I'm not doing anything other than uploading. So you guys have a great rest of the week. Congratulations to those that celebrate, for Light, for Micron, which I think is flying as well. I mean, it has been. Listen, Monday you could have bought this under 400 and you're at 464. Come on. Yeah. I will talk to you guys later. Have a great week, Larry, Wendy, DJ, Charles. vacation guy. Appreciate you guys tuning in. See ya.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears.